Okay, I want to commend Fat Joe for raising the level. See, it's important to show examples of how people are raising the level in every aspect of life. All right, so in the raise the level mandate, mindful communications is an important aspect of us elevating and keeping our relationships whole and balanced. Now, everyone knows that Fat Joe and Irv Gotti had a little riff based on some comments that Fat Joe said about what Irv Gotti had to say about Ashanti in the Drink Champs interview. However, I looked at the fact of what I think kicked this off. And what I really think kicked this off is what Irv Gotti said about the verses. The Fat Joe versus Ja Rule versus, what Irv Gotti said about, he was being competitive, he was being fun spirited and with a competitive spirit, saying that, we came to murder Fat Joe and to kill Fat Joe. And the reason I think Fat Joe inserted himself into this conversation is because of what Irv Gotti said. The reason I think that is because that is the initial thing that Fat Joe addressed when he started speaking on Irv Gotti. Okay, listen.
Irv Gotti is sucker, man. He a sucker. And so my thing is, versus is versus. Whoever won lost. How long ago was that? How many millions ago was the versus? That's what I want to know. How many M's ago? And I'm not talking crazy to Irv because Irv just closed the deal. God bless him, he's making money. But he tried to take shit at the wrong dude to get his little street cred off of Joe. Don't do that. Okay, we not. Oh my God. Yo, Irv, stop, right? You're a producer, right? And so, whatever Irv has with Ashanti is 20 years old. Right? And so I know he was making some points that mean a lot to him, his heart and soul.
See, Fat Joe, his initial reaction was out of what Irv Gotti said about the verses. You see? And then he got into the Ashanti thing. Okay? But what I think triggered Irv Gotti to feel and say that Fat Joe is not my friend, he fooled me, is because Fat Joe called him a sucker. He called him a sucker because he was offended by whatever Irv Gotti said about the verses. And if he your friend, why are you calling your friend a sucker if he just being, fun spirited as far as the competitive spirit? So listen to what Irv Gotti said.
One of your longtime friends yesterday goes by the name of Fat Joe. He called you a sucker for talking about all of this stuff 20 years later. How you feel about that? I know you saw it.
Man, I feel like he fooled me. He's not my friend.
Whoa.
I was fooled, but in life you get fooled. But you know what?
What? They don't want you to say nothing?
But in life, forget Joe, because they don't want me to talk about Joe.
Okay,
so I won't
okay.
Talk about Joe.
So now, what I suspect happened is Fat Joe caught himself. He said, you know what? Let me redirect this energy because it's not that serious that I want to lose my friend. Okay? So he heard what Irv Gotti said. And in my opinion, Fat Joe's response raised the level. It shifted the energy. And now I believe they can be brothers still. So listen to Fat Joe's response.
Irv Gotti said, I'm no longer his friend. And he's correct because I'm his brother. And I love him. I love his entire family. I love his mother. I love his sisters. I love his brothers. I love his sons. I love them all. And so sometimes brothers check each other. That's the furthest I'm going to go. But besides that, I can never feel ill of the brother you know, it is what it is.
So I want to give a super shout out to Fat Joe for raising the level, for getting out of his ego and not perpetuating a conflict that could have ensued. Although I believe his first response, he should have chosen his words more responsibly, more responsibly, and not called the brother a sucker, and not said some other things that I think may have triggered Irv Gotti to say that we're no longer friends. I thought he was my friend, but he fooled me. And so I give, enough respect and a shout out to Fat Joe for coming out of the ego and keeping the brotherhood alive. That's what I'm talking about. That's how we raise the level.